What's up, guys? My name is Marco. I'm a grateful citizen of the United States of America. Donald Trump is my president. Yay! I gotta do this gancho al hígado. Somebody told me he really likes this gancho al hígado because it triggers the liberals. And I call it, it's a hit to the liver, right? Hit to the liberals. Get it? Hit to the liberals. So, I'm going live. I just went live on my personal page, and I finally was able to fix this public page. Hey, Christy, what's up? So I can go live. Okay, because Facebook has been fighting me, Facebook has been fragmenting all of us. You know, all the patriots that we used to come together and go live together. I can't find them. I have to go manually look for them, see their pages, and then share their stuff because they don't get notifications anymore. In fact, I have a bunch of pages. I don't know if you know that I manage about 60 pages. And they're not all Latinos for Trump. Some of them I'm not even going to tell you which ones they are because it's important that we don't give the enemy our tools, our secrets, right? And how we do business, how we're able to reach so many people. You know, sometimes I see people that are trying to compete with what we do, and their pages have like 200 likes. You know, and they don't understand that their message just doesn't work. You know, they think they're in the Republican side, but they're worse than liberals. You know, they're always getting blocked. They're always getting. It takes time to be part of this movement, to understand what's really going on, to work with each other, to respect each other. Mainly that, you know, to unite in mind, body, and soul. You know, in a heart full of patriotism, there is no room for mistrust, distrust, and malice. And Donald Trump said that, right? There's a quote out there that if a heart full of patriotism there's no room for distrust and disloyalty and all that negative stuff that just, you know, messes things up. And what's up, guys? Lupe, Morphine, great to see you. I feel so blessed to be part of this movement. I feel blessed to be part of you guys' life. I'm gonna try to go live here with Marta Das. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Let me see. Yeah, well, if she comes here, I'll bring her up. Martha, if you're watching me, just say hi, and then I'll be able to bring you up. And the reason why I want to bring Martha up is because two reasons. One is because Martha just recently became a U.S. citizen in 2017. It's very important that we identify new American citizens, because the Univision, what they have been selling out there, the data that they have, is that out of 10 people that are eligible to become a U.S. citizen, that can now exercise the right to become a U.S. citizen, 7 of those are becoming citizens, which is a lot more than it used to be. And they're saying that most of these people are becoming citizens to vote against Donald Trump. Okay? And there's other statistic there that in the Mexican American community or Mexican immigrants, only Three of those, 3 out of 10 are exercising the right to become a U.S. citizen. So, as Mexican descent or Mexicans, it's harder for us to make that decision. It's harder to make that lifetime commitment to be a U.S. citizen, and that is, I can tell you why. Because Mexico. Remember, I pledged allegiance to the Mexican flag up until I was 17. I was part of the guard. Um, so any kid that goes to school in Mexico, when they come out of, they're so patriotic, they're ready to die for their country. But then that's why I tell my story that when I became a U.S. citizen in 2003, there's a hey,
Hey, this is different.
there you are. So I was telling everybody about when I became a U.S. citizen,
Okay.
and because I was born and raised in Mexico, for me, uh, it took a while to understand really what I got myself into. like like it's hard. It's easier for other countries. It's like Mexicans hold on to their patriotism a lot more. But then when you learn about what we do, like there is a I don't know if you have read about the oath that you take where um, you are sworn. You take the oath to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Mhm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
What did you feel when you did that? What was your
Well, I mean, for me, it was just a surreal moment. It was very exciting, and then um, I was crying the entire time whenever I had my ceremony, and there was a lot of people that were being naturalized that day. I think there was close to 500, 600, and throughout the entire ceremony, I was just bawling, crying in tears because it was just one of my dreams to become a U.S. citizen come true. It was about to become a reality for me. And my husband's sitting in the back. We had our newborn baby at that time. My son was maybe 6 months old, and they were watching me get naturalized. And it was just an incredible moment. I wish my mom was here for that, but she had passed away in 2006. But I felt her there in spirit, and for me, it was very easy to pledge allegiance to this country because this country has done so much for me. And so I that day moving forward, it was just like denouncing my allegiance to my other country. This is my country now. This is who I have loyalty to now. Although I was born in Mexico, I'm more loyal to this country now more than ever because I am now a part of this country. I am now an American.
I was able to speak at the AmFest. They gave me like 3 minutes.
Hmm.
and I always say that I raised my right hand and I became a U.S. citizen.
Hmm.
And then this lady from Puerto Rico, she went and grabbed me. She said, Marco, I want to tell you something. You had to raise your right hand, and you juraste bandera that you would defend this country, and I
Yes.
want to, te quiero felicitar. And I felt like a lot of Americans don't understand how powerful it is for us to
Mm-mm.
be able to pledge allegiance for the first time.
Oh gosh, yes.
And
It
now
was
you're
just
going.
it was an incredible it was just an incredible moment because a lot of people that are born into this country, I feel like sometimes they take that for granted. And for me, a lot of people ask me why I do what I do as far as like all my activism work. And it's because I really, really firmly um, believe that when I pledge allegiance to this country, that I would also protect the Constitution, that I'm gonna keep my promise to that, to be able to always protect the Constitution and protect our rights as Americans. especially
And
with seeing
also,
was with what the left is doing is trying to really literally chip away at every single one of our rights, especially our religious freedom.
and how do you feel that the first vote ever for you is going to be for Donald Trump?
I can't wait. You know what's so funny, that that picture that's gone viral? um I had already made up my mind that I was going to Dallas. um and so I at every rally that I go to, I always just come up with a sign. And this time around, I was like, Lord, I want to be able, leading up to the 2020 election, I want to be able to have a powerful, strong message. What is it that you want me to say? And so it came to me as I woke up in the middle of the night to go grab a glass of water. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's it. I got to write this down because I'm going to forget. And so I wrote it down, and I'm glad that that was the first thing that I did. Whenever I got to the rally, my husband is an incredible man. He supports me in all my work that I do. And this time he was able to go with me to this rally. He wasn't able to go with me to El Paso. So we got there. We got to Dallas around 11 o'clock at night, and he slept outside holding our place in line, even though I told him, look, we'll just all wake up at 6 in the morning and we'll all get in line. You need to just come with me. Let's get some sleep. He's like, nope, I'm going to hold our place in line. He's a patriot too. So he held our place in line. And I got to the rally like around 8 o'clock in the morning because we had our daughter with us. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten there sooner because I actually, the last time we went to Houston, I got there at 6 in the morning with him. And people are just, oh, just so full of excitement that they're not even, they don't even worry about sleep, right? So I get there and I was like, okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my sign ready. No, I always come prepared. So I already had posters. I always have posters in the trunk of my car, especially like whenever I know that I'm going to go to a rally, or even whether I just want to exercise my right to be able to have my say so, and exercise my right of freedom of speech, and maybe stand out in the corner of downtown San Marcos and share a message, right? So I got my signs out, got my markers out, and I was like, okay, that's the first thing I'm going to do. And as soon as I created the sign, I got on top of this pavement and then I lifted up my sign, and it was so hilarious because the entire crowd, their all eyes were on me. But I lifted it up mainly because I wanted my son to, I mean, my son, my husband to take a picture of it. So that way I could post it on social media, because that was going to be the first picture that I would post on social media. And then everybody was like, no, wait, stand right there. We want to take a picture of your sign. We want to take a picture of your sign. So I stood there for like a good 5 minutes, and people were just taking a picture of the sign.
Oh, I was gonna ask you that because I've seen a few pictures and different.
Other different ones, right?
Yeah, like were you saying something? Because it seems like you were saying something.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so there was a couple of times that I would stand up there to hold the sign to get the crowd going. And so this other time I was being interviewed by Telemundo.
Okay.
And yeah, and after I was done with my interview, the whole crowd was just going nuts because they had seen my sign, even though I wasn't waving it, but they had seen my sign. And so I stood up on the pavement again, and I just started to chant so everybody could chant with me, and we were just chanting USA, USA. So that's why that picture looks like I'm yelling.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I followed your post, the one you did, and I see there's like 6,000 shares, and every one of those shares has like 1,000 shares. So if
Yeah.
I multiply that, that's just like, I don't know, 600,000, almost some close to a
Well, I
million.
just saw that what's his name? Ferguson.
Okay.
Ben Ferguson shared it. And then our commissioner, our railroad commissioner in Texas, he shared it. And if you would excuse me, the sun's kind of in my eyes, so I'm going
Sure.
to move the
Sure. Sure.
table a little bit. Um,
Sure.
so Sid Miller shared it. Sid Miller is our commissioner here in Texas. And then today, actually, he shared another one. He shared the one where I was standing in front of Univision's cameras, and it was such an epic moment because I was coming back from buying some merchandise, and I had seen the guy there, and I knew that they were going live, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get somebody to hold this flag with me, right? And then so I'd seen this Hispanic guy, and I was like, hey, hold this sign with me, hold this sign with me. And he goes, oh, yeah, yeah. So he held the sign with me. And I mean, not the sign, I'm sorry, the flag. And the guy from Univision, he looked so uncomfortable. It looked super uncomfortable because they were going live. And I mean, I wasn't going to, do anything disrespectful, but I wanted to also share a strong message with Univision as well, that there are Latinos that support this great president.
You know that I was fortunate enough to be in the headquarters of Univision on election night.
Oh, you
So
were?
yeah, and I saw how much they invested to go against Trump, and then right after Trump won, one, I got to see the agony and how they were all angry, but they laid off about 300 employees because Trump won. I wonder how they're gonna go this time. They have been quiet. I haven't seen a lot from Univision. Jorge Ramos is kind of quiet right now.
Well, I don't know, but see, okay, so here's where I guess my concern is when I went to the Don Jr. event that this past Tuesday, I was interviewed by Telemundo, I was interviewed by Univision as well. And as well as in Dallas, I was interviewed only by Telemundo. The Univision guy would not work the nerve to even probably ask me any questions. But I have not seen any of the footage on their social media or anything like that. And it's probably because they were trying to ask me some hard pressed questions that they thought that maybe they might, I don't know, might make our president look bad in the questions that they were asking me, but I gave them hell right back. So that's probably why they're not going to share it, because they kept asking me questions. Well, what is your response to the majority of the Latinos that do not support President Trump? I said, well, my response to that and my argument to that would be is that this president has already tried to work with the Democrats to pass immigration reform. He realizes that there are close to 11 million plus migrants here that do want to just come here and work and have, the American dream. And so he was trying to work with them, and what he wanted is just border security. And if they would have given him the funding to the border security that he wanted, he would have helped them at least get a pathway to just at least get a work visa for those that
Work
are here illegally, a work permit. But they refused to work with him, and so that's how I answered that question.
good, good.
And
How
I
do you?
also I also shared with them. I said, well, if this president was really a racist, then why did he pass not immigration reform, sorry, prison reform? He
Right.
passed prison reform. He released close to 2,000 prisoners that were serving lengthy prison sentences. Some of them would never even see the light of the day. They were serving life sentences. If he was really a racist, would he have passed prison reform? I think not. Not only that, this great president has had Hispanics in the White House. I don't remember Obama doing that. He's had Black Americans at the Black Leadership Summit. Several of the Black leaders that went to this summit are good friends of mine.
Now, what's behind your passion? What because now obviously you went viral. There is millions and millions of people that have seen your picture. How do you feel about that? And also, what got you here? What made you decide? Because if we can get all these naturalized citizens out there to follow your lead, wow, I think we're gonna do great.
Yeah. Um, for me, what really got me started, first of all and foremost, in politics is just I started researching both platforms, and I had seen that the Democrats are for abortion. The Democrats are for socialism. The Democrats are about wanting American citizens to rely and depend on government to succeed. And then I started looking into more of Republican and conservatism, and I had seen that they align more with my biblical values, and that
Mhm.
is being pro-life. Well, actually, I'm pro-life, but I would say more of an abolitionist because I want to abolish abortion. And
Okay.
that's another topic that we could talk about at a later time. But there is a pro-life movement that sometimes they just want to regulate abortion. In other words, they think abortion is still okay at 6 weeks. I don't think that a child, a baby, should be aborted at any time, because I believe what the Word of God says, and the Word of God says that every every child is a gift from God. Um, and so I got involved in 2014, and 2016 I really started seeing, when our president was elected, that the Democrats were doing everything they could to impeach this man from day one. They would not just give it a rest. Like, and then it's still here. Fast forward to 2019, it's still the
Be-
same. There's
because
just always a constant attack.
you were not a citizen yet, right?
No, I wasn't a citizen. I didn't become a citizen until 2016. And as a matter of fact, I became a citizen. It actually encouraged me and motivated to become a citizen, because I wanted to vote for him in the next election. I wanted to be able to vote for him because I was just seeing what they were doing, the constant attacks. And like the video when I was interviewed by Fox and Friends, the Russia collusion, the Russia hoax, which was started by Hillary Clinton. She's the one that paid for the dossier. That didn't stick. The sex harassment scandal, that didn't stick. And if people really do the research behind all that, you've seen that a lot of these women were paid. They were paid by the attorneys to be able for them to falsify stories against our president. And I don't believe that the racism is sticking, because if you would have been at that rally in Dallas and in El Paso, as a matter of fact, a lot of people don't talk about this. In El Paso, there was probably, I want to say, 60 to 70% of that arena was all Hispanic people. And I was
Wow.
making my observation thinking, okay, well, maybe these are people that just want to see a sitting president. But when I got out of the arena of that rally, there was like long lines of these Hispanic people that were waiting to buy merchandise from
Okay.
the campaign merchandise team. And in Dallas, there was tons of Hispanics. There was tons of Black Americans, and that's the thing about the incredible movement that Trump has started, is that there's just all different walks of lives that protect this president, different ethnicities love and support this president. I even saw a guy that had lots of gays support Trump shirt.
Oh
So
yeah,
you know the
I saw the picture.
LGBT, yeah, the LGBT, lots of gays support Trump, and I was interviewed by him. He has a YouTube channel as well. I believe it's something Pete something. I can't remember.
Well,
Second base Pete, I think is he has a YouTube channel. And then I saw this other lady that had a big poster that, and I'm friends with her now. Her name's Nicole, and her sign said, "I may be gay, but I'm not stupid." And then there's another picture that I took of these two Black Americans. They were way at the front when we got in the arena. They were waiting to for the president to come out, and I'd seen their shirts, and their shirts said that blacks support Trump. So I can't remember what it said, but that picture's gone viral. Even our commissioner, Sid Miller, shared that picture as well. So I mean, the thing is like I see all these polls, but who are they polling really? You know, are they polling just the liberal base that most Americans want to impeach this president? I don't think so. I don't think so. There was over 20,000 in the arena, and there was over 30,000 that could not even get in.
Martha, you seem very informed. I mean, are you just a smart person, or is your whole family into this? How are they treating you? How are you doing in that department?
Okay, so um, my husband supports me. My wonderful mother-in-law supports us. You know, every time she can, she'll watch our my son, so I can go to a Trump rally. But as far as like my immediate family, the moment that I sent a post or I retweeted where the very next day that our president won the election, congratulations, President Trump, and I have been attacked by my cousins. I have been attacked by former friends. My best friend, well, I thought she was my best friend, who I had known since 2002. And by the way, was also my daughter's godmother, completely stopped speaking to me because our political views aren't the same. She was a big Obama supporter. Um, I've lost a lot of friendships. My entire family, they don't speak to me. A matter of fact, I just went to a funeral for my uncle, and not one of them came up to me and spoke to me. My sister, she speaks to me now, but for the longest, she wouldn't speak to me either. But I believe that I'm a woman of faith, and God has been, working behind the scenes to heal and repair our relationship. But sometimes, Marco, this is sad that we live in this country that we're afraid at times to even share our support. I thought we lived in a free country, but we're afraid to show our support because we're afraid of fear of losing friendships. Um, we're afraid of being attacked in public. But what has built me up the courage to keep going is I don't want my children to live in an America where they've lost their freedom to build their own businesses. What I mean by that, building their own businesses, is if you look at the Democrat policies, is if you become a self-made millionaire, they want to tax the wealthy. They want to tax you close to what, 70% of your income. Well, then you're taking away from my American dream,
Not
if that
just
makes
that, but
sense.
they punish success. That's
Yeah,
what
they
I
punish success to be able to distribute it to all these welfare programs. And I'm not saying that I'm against welfare programs, because there are those that do, need assistance, the disabled, especially our disabled veterans and things like that. But I don't want to see my tax dollars to continue to go towards socialized medicine, because that's definitely not going to work. You see what's going on in Canada. It takes them months before they even get an appointment with their doctor.
right. Well, you what part of Mexico are you from?
I'm from Durango.
Durango.
My dad still lives there. Um, and so going back to my family, I it's crazy going back to the funeral. None of them spoke to me, but I have bumper stickers in my car, right? But this is how I'm just so like, ooh, I don't want to offend anybody. Like, should I reverse my car where they can't see my bumper stickers? You know what I mean? Even tomorrow, like, I'm gonna go to church and my sister's meeting me there, and I'm still sort of like intimidated, because I don't want her to because here's the thing, a lot of them aren't informed, and a lot of them think that this shirt right here represents hate, represents racism, or the MAGA hat represents racism. But no, this shirt and the hats that I wear, to me, it represents freedom. It represents freedom of speech. It represents putting God first, putting our family, bringing back our family values. And that's what really attracted me to the Republican Party, is that they're the party that is a party that is a party that represents family, godly values that America has gotten away from. And it breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart.
Now, you know how they say that Trump is separating families, but really what I have seen is that the Democrats have been separating our families the way, our grandparents taught us. Like, for example, Hispanics, we do everything at the kitchen table, that's where we
Yeah.
cook, and that's going away. And because you have all these kids they don't want to listen to their parents, they're being empowered by the liberal left, their policies.
You know
What do you
what?
think?
Here's the thing about what you mentioned about the separation of families, okay? And I'm going to share my testimony behind that. In 2014, was it 2014 or 2012? One of those years. This was during the Obama administration. My sister, my sister got detained by ICE over a traffic violation, and that was during the Obama era.
Wow.
And my sister forgets that. Okay. And not only that, but I have a cousin that she's married to her husband. Her husband was here illegally. They actually deported him. They forget that. It's like the double standard here. Did you guys attack President Obama? No, it was only, ICE and customs. But I'm like, I sometimes that ponders around my mind about all my cousins that have stopped speaking to me over this, and I'm like, I wonder if Karen even thinks about that, about the fact that whenever her husband was deported, it was, let me remind her, it was during the Obama era. It was. And it was actually something to do with, the way that he had answered a certain question. They had a really terrible immigration attorney, um, that was helping them. I think he had answered in the questionnaire if he had ever been deported before. He had answered yes. And so that sort of complicated his application process. Now, my sister, she didn't have DACA yet. She has DACA right now. She had gotten pulled over for in Austin, by the way, liberal Austin. She had gotten pulled over for a traffic violation, and uh, they arrested her. And the officer detained her, and they put her on an immigration hold. And that was during the Obama era. So a lot of people forget that actually, and if you do your research, Obama has actually deported more people than this president has. And
Yeah.
Obama's the one that started the cages. And that, you remember, what was it, a couple years ago, that picture went viral that Trump's putting these kids in cages and they had like the aluminum blankets. Well, they did more research, and that photo was actually during the Obama era.
Yeah, that's the deal breaker with my mom. My mom agrees with everything with me, but except when it goes to kids, because I think they know that in the Hispanic communities, kids are everything. Our kids is so when you say the kids are in cages, it really hits home for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, and unfortunately, they're taking advantage of that, and like everything they do, they seduce emotionally people. They emotionally they try to control
They
us.
string them along, and the Democrats string them along. I have seen it since I was 15, 16. All the broken promises, a couple family members still waiting for immigration reform, and this president's going to be the president that's going to do it. Bill Clinton promised it, Obama promised it, and none of them fulfilled their promises. And the Democrats do it every single election, which is what they do with Black Americans as well. They promise them they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and it's like a carrot. They're just, dangling that carrot. Um, and like I said, I've seen it, and they, if people really do their research, I've done a lot of research, so that's why I can speak on a couple of issues. Um, Obama held the Senate and the House. Why didn't he do anything then?
Right.
He had all 60 votes. He had, I mean, majority of the votes. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't think he had all full 60 votes, but he still had the full House, and he still had held the majority in the Senate. He didn't really act on immigration reform. Then when he started realizing that his term was almost about up, that's when he passed DACA, which he passed an executive order on DACA without going through Congress. I didn't see any of the Democrats going crazy on him because he did an executive, presidential executive action. He took executive action on that.
Now, I there is one of the things I actually had the opportunity to debate Anna Paulina. It wasn't
Mm.
really a debate; it was more of a just a conversation because we had got into it with the DACA. Um, I don't support DACA, and I don't support it not because I don't want everybody to have the same opportunity that I had, but because of the way it came to be. It's
Right.
it's about it's the Americans have the
It was an illegal executive action because he didn't
right.
go through the proper channels that he needed to go through.
Not
And
just that,
that's one thing that I'm trying, because my sister still has DACA, so she's still anti-Trump. She hates Trump, but that's one thing that I'm trying to get her to understand is like, look, even what was it, like what was it, a week ago? Didn't President tweet something about that he wants to do something with DACA, but in the right way, in the right channels.
to
He's just
Congress.
waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's waiting on Congress. He's waiting on Congress, and Congress still refuses to work with this president.
and another
And
thing
these and
that I
but here's the thing. Let me touch on this real quick.
okay.
There's a couple. I need to find the footage. It's on Infowars. There's this guy that came up to one of the Infowars reporters, and he said, I'm a DACA recipient and I support this president. I realized that, President Obama didn't go through the right channels. And I'm beginning to wake up and see that these Democrats continue to promise us things, and they never fulfill their promises as far as passing like immigration legislation.
Martha, how do you feel? Do you feel the American dream has been que se ha llegado a ti? Do you feel that you have achieved the American dream? I mean, with all this new fame that you got of going viral and all, how do you feel about that? Do you feel a responsibility to go out there and continue your work?
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that it was going to go viral. I just wanted to take a picture and really just share a strong message with the crowd, with any news media, that no, don't believe the polls, don't believe the lies of the mainstream media. We have people that support this great president. And so for me, it's been very humbling. I was on my prayer walk this morning, and I was talking to the Lord about this, and I said, Lord, it's just been such a humbling experience. I always keep my heart humble, and always order and direct my steps in which way you want me to go next. Because certainly, I talked to you about it. And I'll give credit to David as well, which is who part of Lexit. I had messaged him a couple of our photos that I was taking because I want to blow up our message. I don't want our message to be hidden. I want our message to spread everywhere like wildfire. And so when I sent him those pictures from the rally, he's like, "Why don't you start your own page?" And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing, but okay, maybe I'll start my own page." So I started the page, and I was like, "You know what? Maybe I should start this page because I also want to go back and share some of the videos of my testimonies that I've given in the Texas legislation, which a lot of people don't feel or not feel, but they don't know that they have this right when it's legislative season, that you can go to the Capitol and you can testify on things that you support and why you support them, to try to get some of your House of Representatives and senators to vote in the way that you want them to vote. And so I exercised my right in March and February to be able to testify in a couple of pro-life bills, and two of them that I testified on actually passed. So I'm going to go back to my page that I now created. I mean, go back to some of that footage and start sharing a couple of these videos. And so, yes, like after that video has gone completely viral, it's like, okay, I'm going to use this to our advantage and be a voice. Be a voice for those that feel like they don't have a voice because they're too afraid to speak out. I have a lot of my conservative friends that I can identify as conservative on my friends list on Facebook, but they're not out and vocal like I am. But I think I respect their decisions. I don't judge why they choose not to. I know why, because a lot of them are business owners here locally. A lot of them own their own restaurants. A lot of them own their own gyms and things like that. But and they don't want to lose business probably. I get it. For me, I've been really blessed that I have my own consulting business. I have a consulting business in credit repair, and as you being one of my clients, I have a business in Legal Shield. I believe, especially everyone needs to have Legal Shield, legal protection, especially if you're out, work in politics. You always have, high risk of being sued and things like that. So
Especially
that to me,
if you're in California, it's worse.
oh yes, it's worse. It's worse. It's worse. So I thank the good Lord that He has blessed me the opportunity to be self-employed, so that way I can uh, get out there and fight for those again that feel like they don't have a voice. Marco, in the beginning, God had to take me a step back because in the beginning, when I started wearing my Trump shirts, it was to be transparent, it was to really just trigger the left. You know what I mean? It was just to trigger the left, and then I was like, I started seeing how it was making my heart bitter, and I was like, okay, Lord, I started praying more, like, Lord, this isn't what this movement is about. Humble my heart once again. And he humbled my heart. And now when I wear my shirt, it's more to display my support, number one, for our great president. He needs us to, he needs us to show our support for him after everything that he goes through every single day, always constantly being attacked. I don't see how he finds his strength. But no, wait a minute, I can't say that. I would say the Lord gives him strength. But I don't think, I mean, a normal person can endure all the things that this president has had to endure. But now I wear it because the times that I have wore it, a lot of people are approaching me. Hey, thank you for wearing that shirt. I want to wear my shirt too, but I'm just too scared. I'm too scared that I'm going to get attacked. So you're my voice. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. So majority of the time I get positive feedback, especially here in this I live in a very liberal town, San Marcos, Texas. You guys know all that crazy stuff that happened at Texas State with Turning Point USA. It made national headlines because they were trying to do away with Turning Point in Texas State and lose their chapter. And thankfully it didn't pass. Our governor got involved and things like that. But like I said, it's just been a humbling experience. I'm thankful. I'm very, very, very thankful for everyone's support, everyone that's shared the picture. Um, and for me, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna use the platform that I build to be able to wake up more Mexican, Hispanic, Latino Americans. And my main reason in doing this is because I want them to understand and really research both platforms, really do your research, because if you really do your research, you'll see that a lot of Hispanics, they align more with conservatives because we're not for abortion. We are people that want to come here and build the American dream, build our businesses, and we're not for high taxes and things like that. We're for a booming economy.
Wow. So the new page you created is called Marta.
Yes, it's
So
just
that
Martha for right now.
be,
Maybe I'll change it later. But the reason
be,
I did that is because I'm having like literally, I mean, hundreds of friend requests. So like if people search Martha, it's easy for them to just, kind of maneuver them to my page.
because I wanted to baptize you in the name of the Texan Latina for Trump.
Texan Latina for Trump. That is a really good name. Yeah.
By the powers
Maybe
vested in
I'll
me, I
I'll,
baptize
I'll
you.
set I'll set up my Twitter that way. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
keep going because I think it's important, especially I can't believe 3 years have gone by fast already. Time
the
goes
thing
by
is,
fast.
if you create your own name, don't worry because if you get caught up in titles and organizations and all that, it's best for you to create your own niche, and that way you can take that name wherever you go.
Yeah.
You're free.
Yeah, yeah.
Martha, thank you very much for speaking to me. I
Love you
really
guys.
appreciate your activism. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. So there you have it, guys. That's Martha Doss. If you haven't seen her picture, go to her page. Her picture is being everywhere. Um, and of course, she should be on CNN. She should be on Univision, Telemundo right now talking about her experience, but they're not going to. And they're not going to because they don't want anybody to know that there is a recently naturalized American that did all the work necessary. She took the necessary steps to become an American citizen to vote for Donald J. Trump. And it's so amazing. It's so beautiful that her first vote is going to be for the best president ever. Okay, so that's amazing. Um, so let me see. So thank you guys. I was able to go live out of our main Latinos to Trump page. I want to thank you for all your support. Time is not refundable, so the time that you spend with us today, you will never get it back. And when you spend time with somebody else, you actually share a piece, a part of your life. And I want to thank you for sharing that part of your life with me, with Marta. Please support her, send her prayers, send her a lot of words of encouragement, because it is during these times when patriots like her break through that all the bad comes with it. And unfortunately, I know that she's going to be attacked, and she's probably going to be attacked from people from our side, which is the worst, I think, but also from the left. So we need to have her in our prayers, and we need to encourage her and give her our support, and help her out during this times where she's able to break through and go out. Can you imagine all the naturalized citizens? There's millions of people that are getting their citizenship this year, guys, and we need to go. They're all for grabs. We need to go after them. Our vice chair, Peter Cuo, here in California, he goes to the one in San Jose, California, every month, because they have a naturalization event every month. There's about 1,000 people that get their naturalized, and he takes a little stand. He plays the violin. He plays a little bit for them there. He has a picture of a Trump, a board, um, and he's registering people to go red there. And he has a story where the first one he went to, he had a little table with nothing there, and then the Democrats, they're giving out pens, they got all kinds of stuff, giving away freebies. So what he's giving away now in his stand is hope, and he's giving a welcome to America, and he's giving his story, because our vice chair, he is also a naturalized American citizen. So there is a lot of hope for us here in California. Thank you guys. I love you, and talk to you soon. Good night.